Hello, welcome to Color Me in Sound, a creative series where we amplify creativity and elevate Black voices by highlighting the bold, the brilliant, and beautiful creative work of Black women in music, art, storytelling, and design. I'm your host, Angel Taylor. In each episode, we bring you into the minds and hearts of women shaping culture through creativity. And today, we meet an author who is building an entire universe, one rom-com at a time.
Oh, can you see me? Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having
Hello.
me.
I am so glad that you are here. This is going to be so informational for everyone who is interested in finding out about Rom-Com, right?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. All right. So you describe yourself as a theater and comic book geek. How have those interests shaped the way you write romance?
Oh, wow. When I was in college, I majored in theater, by the way. Hi, my name is Monique Fisher. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me. um, Theater definitely shaped my writing. I love comedy because I love to laugh and I love the idea of making other people laugh.
Yeah.
But I respect the craft greatly, and I very much credit that to being a theater major. We were told from day one it is easier to make people cry than it is to make people laugh.
Mm.
So, if I had to advise anybody who wants to get into the rom-com writing or any comedy writing,
Yes.
learn your craft, study it. I read craft books, I watch video essays, and I've been studying this for a really, really long time. And uh, being a theater major really, really helps me as a writer because I went from writing plays, and I live in Los Angeles, by the way, and I tried my hand at being a television writer, and I learned how to write sitcoms too. I'm gonna
Okay.
say, I'm gonna just say this: if you can write a sitcom pilot, you can write anything.
Okay.
I had many different paths, but it all led me to what I'm doing right now, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. I'm very, very blessed because those paths have taught me how to write in different mediums. And it's
Yes.
also been very, very helpful in writing novels because unlike stage plays and screenplays, you have to have a lot more detail in a novel.
Okay.
And to do that, has been really interesting because I've been doing it for 3 years and I love what I do. And learning how to write other different art forms has definitely lended itself to this.
Okay.
It can be challenging. I'm not even gonna lie. Writing a book is hard.
Right. Yeah, let's not make it sound like anyone can do it, right?
Well, I believe that anybody could probably be a writer if they just respect it and actually take the time to learn how to do it properly.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I've been doing. I read books. I obviously write books. And like I said, I read craft books. It's just
Okay.
all about learning. You cannot stop learning. That's the important part when it comes to just any art form.
Yes.
The minute you decide, oh, I know enough, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
So always be willing to learn more and always be willing to listen to other people who've been doing it before you. I do not take for granted the fact that I stand on the shoulders of giants. And there are
Aw.
plenty of people who've been doing this longer than I have.
Yeah.
Do not let your ego get in the way. I believe Quincy Jones said that right when they were about to record We Are the World, there was a sign that says, check your ego at the door.
Okay. Okay.
Do that. Check your ego at the door and be willing to listen and be willing to learn. And that's definitely something that I learned way back in college that I apply now um, more than ever. And I would definitely advise somebody else to do that as well. Always be willing to learn and always be willing to listen to people who, frankly, know more than you.
Yeah, that is great advice. Definitely check your ego at the door. We got to, yeah, we definitely got to keep that in mind. All right. So can you walk us through the idea behind Mo's rom-com universe?
That's where the comic book comes in. um,
Hey.
I grew I grew up with two older brothers who were deeply into comic books, and so I kind of just fell into being in love with them as well. And one of the things that I really love about comics is that they have their own like internal universe. Like we all seen the MCU movies. You have
Right.
Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk,
Right.
everybody else. They have their own films, and then of course you have the big team up movie with the Avengers. And there's Easter eggs, there's callbacks, there's
Right.
spin-offs and stuff like that. I love the idea of that. I'm one of those people who will watch an MCU movie and will look for like the Easter eggs, look for the little clues for
Okay.
what's happening in the future. And I'll do that when I'm reading a book too. Like I know that there's book series. There's a lot of folks out there who also write romantic comedies, and a lot of those books are series. So I'll look for something that I read in the previous book that's maybe being touched on a little bit more in this book. A lot of authors will do that, and I love it. They'll just drop hints about something, and you got to be really, really careful about what it is that you're looking at or what it is that you're reading. Like the book that I'm currently reading right now is oh my god, let me find the title. It's
Okay.
it's by an African American romance writer. Her name is Jessica Gage. I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend,
Oh.
and she also her follow up book, which just recently came out, is I hooked up with a vampire, and of course,
Oh.
all the characters all are intermingled, and the female main character in the demon boyfriend book plays a huge role in the vampire book. So it's stuff like that that I really, really love. Just like having characters interact with each other from different books,
Okay.
having something be mentioned in one book and then a callback to it to another one.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the comic book geek in me. I get really, really excited whenever I read about stuff like that. So I try to provide it in my own books to see people other in order to have other people get geeked out and get excited about it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So I know that you've said that you've written for comics and you've also written for theater and TV. So what drew you to indie romance as your home genre?
I'm a control freak. I was trying to think of like what's a diplomatic way of saying this. There's no real diplomatic way of saying it. I'm a
Okay.
control freak. I like being in control of everything. I mean, granted, it comes with its own pros and cons. The cons being that you're responsible for everything, and I
Okay.
everything. I have absolutely no problem with that though. I love the idea of hiring an artist to do my cover art, hiring artists to do
Okay.
character art, hiring editors. Every single person who I hire when it comes to the interior of my books
Yeah.
is a black woman. My
All
editors are
right.
black women. My proofreaders are black women. My beta readers are black women.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are hearing this, right? Okay.
The one exception is I wrote a book called Hot for Teacher, and the male main character came from a foster care background, so I had a sensitivity reader who was a black man
Okay.
who
Okay.
was familiar with that background. Other than
Right.
that, everybody who helps me with the interior of my books is a black woman, and the exterior, the art, they're all women of color.
Nice.
So I try to be very, very strategic and very intentional about the
Okay.
people that I work with. And so far it's been going really well. So I hope that it continues to do so.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate that for sure. Okay, so now family and food are recurring themes in your work, right? Why are those elements so important to you?
Well, family, it could be blood related, it could be found family. I find that a lot of comedy lends itself really well to that sort of idea. If you look at shows like look at Living Single, Living Single can very much be it's found family, and in the
Yeah.
case of Khadijah and Sinclair, they actually are family.
Right, right.
So I always found that to be really fun and interesting. Like when you're in your 20s and in your 30s, you spend a little bit less time with the people you grew up with, and you start spending a little bit more time with people that you have commonality with.
Yeah.
I find myself in that. I'm in my 40s, and I find myself doing that as well. While I have, you know,
Did you wait a minute? 40s. See that? This is black don't. You know what? Black don't crack 40s. Man,
Yeah, I'm gonna be 45 in June.
what? Oh my goodness. Are you a Gemini?
I am a Cancer.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I cannot believe that. I had to interrupt that because, wow, you look great. Amazing. All right, go
Thank you.
ahead.
Thank you so much. Um, oh God, you just gave me a compliment. I forgot where I was at.
All right, so let
Oh,
me ask you this question.
okay, go
So, one
ahead.
of the things about you is that you talk about joy. How do you intentionally write joy into your Black love stories?
I make it. These people love each other down. That's
Yeah,
how.
yeah.
Like, if you take my most recent book, "Spend My Life with You," I remember when I was writing it, I kept trying to infuse some form of conflict in there, and then I
Oh, okay.
realized this is low angst. This is
Mm,
cozy. This doesn't need
yes.
to have a lot of conflict. These are two people that are in their 30s who've been in love for 4 years, who are no longer afraid to tell each other how they feel, and now they want to be together and they want to make the ultimate commitment to each other. They want to get
Right.
married. If X came and tried to mess things up, that wouldn't matter. They're committed to each other. They've waited long enough. If a
Mhm.
parent disapproved, they're in their 30s. They're business owners. They're adults. So what? So
Right, right.
once I realized that it didn't need a lot of deep, heavy conflict, and there's plenty of books that are like that, and they're just as enjoyable as the ones that are messy. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a messy book, but
I think
it,
a lot of people do.
that I mean, reality TV is popular for a reason. So,
Yes, exactly.
my point is, you don't necessarily have to have something messy in order to have a compelling story. And once I
Yeah,
let go of that and I just let them be in love and let the story be about the couple, it became so much easier to write. So
right.
that's pretty much what I try to do. And just an example in this book, I don't shy away from real life because that's part of my tagline: modern real life romance,
Yes.
modern fun real life romance. So there's a part where the two main characters, Thad and Drea, are talking about the realities of when he was growing up and being profiled by police.
Hmm.
Uh, the main character, Thad, is a dark-skinned, tall black dude with long locks. He is a walking target.
Okay.
So that's something that they definitely talk about. But at the same time, we also see them expressing joy. We also see them, in they're amazing, having amazing, wonderful moments with their families. They're
Right.
around during the birth of their niece. They're um, growing together as a couple and growing together as individuals too.
Right.
So I wanted to show the realism of what it is to be black, but at the same time, I also wanted to fight back against the idea that we don't deserve
Mm.
to be happy, that we somehow have to. I hate this word. Sorry, we somehow have to struggle in order to be
Right.
happy.
Right.
And it's like, I shouldn't say that I hate the word, but I don't like how it's used lately.
Right.
And
I understand.
it's like, yes, it is incredibly hard and incredibly stressful to
Yeah.
be a black person in this world and to navigate this world, but we deserve to see each other happy. We deserve to have joy. We deserve to have those moments. We deserve to find love, find people who cherish us and who love us. And as a
Exactly.
black woman, it's like we deserve that. We deserve someone who's going to love us down and who's going to be there for us and have our backs. And I
Right.
think it's incredibly important to display that through my writing. So I don't shy away from the joy. I give it wholeheartedly.
Yay. Thank you so much for doing that.
It's my
So
pleasure. I love doing it.
what's your creative process like when you're writing the new book? Do you like to outline things or do you let it flow? Do you get different ideas just from watching people or watching television shows?
All of the above. I get ideas
Oh,
from dreams. Like
okay.
I've been writing since I was 10 years old, and I pursued writing professionally ever since college. Like I said, I went from playwriting, TV writing, to comic book writing,
Right.
to novel writing. And those are mediums that I would probably revisit if given the opportunity.
Okay.
Um, but just the idea that I could sit down and shape a world and just come up with an idea, just doing something even mundane. I was washing dishes the other day, and I was like,
Uh-oh.
I can do this.
You're frozen.
And when
There you go.
oh, sorry, what happened?
You froze. You froze
Oh,
for a second.
okay.
Yeah, as soon as you said I was washing dishes, you froze.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was washing dishes and an idea just struck me for a book that I'm
Okay.
writing right now. So
Okay.
it's one of those things where when you exercise this muscle long enough, sometimes the ideas can just come to you out of nowhere. You don't even
Ah,
have to be trying. Like I
right.
said, I was concentrating on the task of washing dishes, and next thing you know, have the girls go to a club. Have a bunch of dusty ass men try to hit
Oh,
on them. Have them
okay.
do something comedic and funny to get away from the dusty ass men. Show them having fun.
Right.
Because I was trying to think of what to do in a particular scene. Because I have for my upcoming book, it's four best friends who go on a girls trip to New Orleans, and I wanted to like show some of the details of them exploring the city and having fun and everything. And then the idea just popped in my head.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I can be watching television, I could be washing dishes, I could be asleep.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh. But there was the movie with the girls that went on the was it four girls? The
yeah, it was
girls
called
trip.
it was Girl Trip. It was Queen
Yeah.
Latifah, Jada, Tiffany
Okay.
Haddish, and Regina Hall.
Okay, but they didn't explore the city. Did I guess they were more just going to parties, right?
No, I
What?
I remember I remember them exploring. There was a very funny part where Jada Pinkett Smith's character is ziplining and she pees on herself.
Oh, okay, right, right. Oh my
So.
goodness, that was so long ago. I can't even remember. So I know you said you like to laugh in a lot of things. How do you balance humor, romance, and realism in your storytelling?
Mm, that can be kind of a challenge because one of the things that I do like to do is the genre is called rom-com. So
Right.
obviously romance and love is going to play a very big important role in that.
Yes.
I feel like for a lot of stuff, the comedy kind of gets put on the back burner. Like it's not even really like seen as being as important. And for me, I feel like that's a real missed opportunity because you can definitely show a lot about a romantic relationship through humor. So I
Hmm.
try to find a good balance of both. There's some books where there's a little bit more rom than there is com, but there's definitely com. It's not like it's just completely gone.
Right.
Um, I try to keep this in mind. A few years back, I'm no longer on Twitter, but a few years back when I was, somebody wrote that they believe that the humor in romantic comedies comes from the banter between the two main characters.
Okay.
Uh, Respectfully, I disagree
Oh, okay.
because to me, if that's all the humor that's coming is just from the two people exchanging banter, what about the rest of the book?
Yeah.
The rest of the book doesn't stop being a comedy, even if the two main characters aren't in a scene together. Suppose you have the female main character and the male main character, and the male main character is visiting his family. He's hanging out with his
Right.
homies. He's at the gym. He's at the barbershop. He's at his job. You can get plenty of humor, and there are plenty of ways that you can show them as a couple gradually growing as individuals, which will then lend itself to their relationship. Like you're missing opportunities for character development. You're missing opportunities for character growth.
Yeah.
Even in the scenes where the two of them are together, there are many different ways that you can show humor without it just being banter. And don't get me wrong, I love banter. I love writing it and I love reading it.
Okay.
But I just feel like if you're limited to just that, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, I like it. I like it. So you are self-published, right?
I am.
So what has the journey towards that taught you about your creative control and persevering? Uh-oh, that
It
was a
costs
big.
this costs money. So you have to go into this knowing this. You have to go in knowing that you're probably going to be spending a lot more than you're taking in.
Okay.
There are plenty of self-published indie authors who do this full time, and this is all that they do,
Yeah.
and they make a good living doing it. I would like to be part of that group one day, but you also have to know going in when you go to different events, there's a good chance that you're going to be spending money on merch, on swag, on
Yeah.
sending your books to that event. You're going to be, and then getting your airplane ticket, getting your hotel. You're going to be spending more than you're taking in, and you have to make peace with that. because
Okay.
this isn't for the faint of heart.
Okay.
This author life is not for the weak.
Okay.
So there's a lot of it that you're going to have to take into consideration. You have your creative control, but you're going to be spending money. You're That's just something you need to contend with. Another thing that you need to contend with is you cannot control how people feel about your work.
Mm-hmm.
When you release something, it belongs to the public. It's no longer
Right.
yours. It
Right.
belongs to the public. There are going to be people who like it. There's going to be people who don't. Your job is to find the people who your work resonates with. The people that your work doesn't resonate with, that's fine. That's their opinion. They're entitled to it. That's
Right.
none of your business. Find the people who like your work. Find the people that will continue to buy your work. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I'm blessed enough to say that I have been told by people on social media that whenever I release a book, they will buy it. That I am an automatic buy.
Okay.
Those are the people that you need to be looking for. Those are the people that you need to that's who you need to find. I
Right.
I remember a while back when I first started doing this. Her pen name is Elizabeth Grace. Her name is Margot Hendricks. Shout out to her and the Word Makers. She's a
All right.
wonderful person. She writes historic romance. I made the fortunate mistake of reading a bad review from my book,
Oh.
and she put it in perspective for me. She said, "We all get bad reviews. We all get, you know, this happens to everybody. Your your proverbial cherry has been popped.
Mm,
Just focus on the important thing. The important thing, you are a published author. You are making money. You're making money writing, and your work is out there. Just keep doing it."
that's
And
right.
I never forgot about that. She's amazing, and I sometimes do writing sprints with her. So I've always kept that in mind. So I thank you, Margot, for saying that to me. I Because I definitely needed it, and I listened to that.
Awesome.
I go by that advice. I stay away from reader spaces. People are allowed to say whatever they want.
Right.
I just keep going. I just keep writing my books and keep releasing them, and doing amazing opportunities like this, going to events, meeting readers, meeting fellow authors. So I'm just choosing to enjoy what I do. I'm choosing to love what I do, and I love writing so much, and I'm just choosing to focus on that.
Yay. We are so glad that you are choosing that. So, if your rom com universe were adapted into a TV series, who would you want to cast?
You know what's crazy? If my rom-com universe was adapted into a television series, I wouldn't want it to be live action. I would like for it to be adult and animated. Right?
Ah,
Like something similar to think Black Dynamite, Boondocks, something like that, where the characters actually look like people and they don't really look cartoony,
okay.
but something of that nature. And I would love to like hire different actors to like provide the voices. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, who would you
Um,
want to do the voices?
well, for my new thing that I'm working on, I, like I said, it's four best friends. They go on a trip to New Orleans. They encounter a psychic who tells them that they're going to meet the man of their dreams. They're each going to meet the man of their dreams within a year's time.
Okay.
And I feel like for Lyric and Ranson, that's the first couple. There's them, and then the next couple is Amy and Patrick, and then Suchi and Kofi, and then Bridget and Silas. Suchi and Kofi, I still don't know who I would cast. I'm still
Uh-huh.
working on that.
Okay. Okay.
But for Lyric and Ranson, Ranson, Winston Duke.
Mm,
Lyric, ooh, oh, Yaya DaCosta. She would be
okay.
perfect.
Okay.
For Bridget, Joy Bryant, and for Silas, Lawrence Tate. And
Okay.
Amy and Patrick, I'm still not sure about yet either. But one thing, whenever people ask me about this, it's kind of bittersweet
Yeah.
because for the book that I just released, for the character of Thad, Chadwick would have been perfect for Thad.
Aw.
He would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But a previous book that I released, Take Care, the male main character he was loosely inspired by Aldous Hodge, so he would be perfect for
Okay, well he's still out there. If all this, if you're hearing this, we need you.
that.
Uh, all right. So, what challenges or joys come with writing books that center Black women in love?
Challenges. It's interesting. A lot of the I can't really think of any challenges from the top of my head. Probably because I just write whatever I want, and
Okay.
that's also advice that I give people. I try to be as blunt as possible, and occasionally profanity comes out.
Yeah.
But I remember I was on a panel. I think it was a panel regarding 30 and 40-ish main characters, like Love in Full Bloom, I believe it was called, and it was at Romance-Con in Wisconsin last year. And I'm
Right.
going back this year, can't wait. um,
Okay.
and I just told people, I'm not sure if we're allowed to curse on here. Are we allowed to curse on
Well, you
here?
did. You did already.
I did? I don't even remember doing it. Okay.
You sure did. Listen, where we are, I think it's okay.
Okay. I tell people if you want to start doing this indie romance thing, write whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
There's going to be plenty of people who are going to be like, authors, write more of this. Authors, write more of that. This and that is out there. Go out and
Yeah.
find it. But if you
Yeah.
want somebody to write something specific, like if you're saying, Monique Fisher, I need you to write more, whatever, I'm sorry. I'm going to write whatever I want.
Right.
And there are plenty of people out there who will dig it. There are plenty of people out there who won't.
Right.
I'm just going to write what makes me happy. So for me, I don't really the challenge of writing Black women finding love and being in love. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna write that.
Right.
These women are loved on. Even if when you read one of my books, one of the things that I need folks to know is even if there isn't anything of the sort in the book, know that the men in my book will fight for their women, and I
Oh,
mean they will fight for their women.
okay. That's
Even if it isn't in the book, just know that they will.
okay. Okay.
um, I want these women to be loved out loud and unapologetically. So for me, that's not a challenge. I just go ahead and I write that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't see it as a challenge because I feel like Black women in fiction, in real life, whatever, we deserve to be loved out loud, without apology, and
Yeah.
with intention.
That's
So,
right. We do. Do y'all hear that? We sure do.
so that's not a challenge for me.
And we want to be. And we want to be. Okay. All right. So, what advice would you give to aspiring romance writers who want to write joyfully and authentically?
What I just said, right? Whatever the fuck you want.
All right. Listen, that's the advice. Okay.
Also, in terms of one thing that folks also need to realize is you are your brand. When you are an author, you are a business person. When the minute you start making money doing this, you are a business person.
Yes.
So make sure you keep that in mind. And this is advice that I've been given. I was given this advice twice in two different, very different circumstances.
Yeah.
Once when I was in college studying theater, and another time when I was taking a TV writing class. Even though writing is an isolating activity, when you go out to release the book, it becomes a collaborative process. Your beta readers, your editors, your proofreaders, sensitivity readers, if necessary, that's your team.
Yeah.
Do not be an asshole.
Okay.
Nobody wants to work with an asshole.
Okay.
So, and this is small. This world is small. There's plenty of crossover between mediums. Books get made into movies and TV shows all the time. Everybody knows each other. And if that
Okay.
scares you, good. It should.
Yeah.
Everybody knows each other. You are only as good as your reputation. Do not shoot yourself in the foot before you can even get that foot in the door.
Okay.
Make sure that you are open-minded, open to collaboration, and a pleasure to work with. And make sure
Okay.
you find people that are like-minded. Make sure you find people whose goal it is to make your book better.
Nice.
Once you find that, hold on to it too. And once you find it, make sure you hold on to it. Make sure that folks actually enjoy saying, "I love working with this person. I love working
Okay.
with Angel. She's amazing."
Yeah.
You know, I understand that there's always circumstances where you may have found yourself working with somebody who may have taken advantage, because there's plenty of scammers out there. There's plenty of scammers out there.
Hmm.
But make sure that you do your due diligence, you do your homework, and always make sure that you are a pleasure to work with and do not be
All right. Well,
a
look at that.
peasant.
You see, you had advice anyway. That was good. All right. If your writing had a tagline or catchphrase, what would it be?
Probably the tagline that's for my logo. um, Modern fun real life romance. That's pretty much
Okay.
what you're gonna get.
All right. Okay. So that sounds good. All right. So look straight ahead and share your social media platforms, your website with the audience so everyone can know where to find you.
Okay, I am on Blue Sky. I am on IG. I'm on Threads, and it's all one word at Monique Fisher Author. And my website is the same thing, MoniqueFisherAuthor.com.
So much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Okay.